I want to talk to you about a rule of life. An unbreakable law, one may even call it a code, that dates back to prehistoric times. Since the dawn of time, this code has been a North Star, a guiding light to all. Cultures, civilizations, people groups from around the world have utilized this code as their society's backbone to instill order and structure. The implementation of this code can restore balance and hope back to humanity. Well, without this code, all chaos would surely ensue. Taylor, what code are you talking about? I'm talking about the bro code. Yes, the bro code. You may be thinking to yourself, what's the bro code? The bro code is a friendship etiquette to be followed amongst men, or more specifically, amongst members of the bro community. The goal of this code is to keep peace amongst the bros. There are plenty of do's and don't within the code, but in my opinion, none may be more important than this part. Do not like, flirt, crush on, or try and date one of your bro's ex-girlfriends. No! It's quite simple. No fine print, no open to interpretation. Your friend's ex-girlfriend is off limits. No bro would dare to ever break this code. Right? Wrong. It was a Tuesday. My senior year of high school, my friend Sam just got his heart broken by his now ex-girlfriend, Erin. The breakup was messy. I don't need to go into details, but Sam fought hard to keep Erin around. And by the end of it, Erin said, "It's not you, it's me. I think we should see other people." My boy Sam was down bad. Now, I had this other friend, Darren. Now, Darren and Erin, that rhymes, Sam's ex, they were good friends. In Erin's mind, that's all they were. Just friends, nothing more. Erin thought he was cute, but like the same way you think a puppy is cute. You know what I mean? But in Darren's mind, well, he always had a little crush on Erin. And now that Erin was single and, you know, the door was open, he was ready to shoot a shot. One problem, Darren and Sam, yeah, they were friends since 6th grade. They were bros. Darren knew that he was quite literally breaking the code. He was shooting his shot, and he didn't care. This situation became a code red, level 10 flagrant, personal, technical violation of the bro code. To make a long story short, Sam found out that Darren was crushing on Erin and was trying to make a move. Things got ugly quick. Things were said. Fists may or may not have been thrown. And ultimately, friendships were broken. Now, like anyone would, I chose the side of Sam, of course. I could never support someone that would intentionally obliterate the bro code in broad daylight. Like, how could you do that, Darren? How could you stab your friend in the back like that? Man, like one moment you're saying, yo, we're homies, we're bros, we're friends, and in the next moment, you're trying to date his girl. What a hypocrite. This happened 13 years ago. And it's funny thinking about it because in this moment, it was a big deal. But now I think back to this moment, and while still not a good move on Darren's part, it really wasn't the end of the world. We treated this whole situation like an episode of The Kardashians.
It's not okay though, it's not, on Roblox.
When in reality, everything was gonna be fine. This wasn't a life or death situation. It was high school, it was dating. Well, we were way too dramatic about this whole thing. I think the thing that was really alarming as I think back to this situation is how 17-year-old Taylor responded to Darren breaking the bro code. I called this dude a hypocrite, to his face. And while I was probably right, I had no ground calling someone else a hypocrite. Yeah, maybe I wasn't breaking the bro code in high school, but if you looked at my life back then, I was the biggest hypocrite of them all. I had other areas in my life that were a complete mess. I laugh at myself calling someone else a hypocrite. A hypocrite was judging someone else for being a hypocrite. How could I judge someone when I was just as bad as them? Isn't it funny how we judge others based off their actions while we judge ourselves based off our intentions? If I could go back to 17-year-old Taylor, I would slap him in the face. Yes, I can do this in this hypothetical time travel situation because I'm slapping myself. And I would tell him, be a better friend. Bro, step up. While I would still have called him out for breaking the bro code, I had no right to judge him in this moment and withhold grace from him. Don't miss this. Christ-centered friends extend grace. Always. Ephesians 4:32 says this: be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. While the world tells you to hold a grudge and to stay mad at your friend when they do wrong by you, Jesus calls you to a different standard. Jesus calls you to extend grace to your friend, even in their worst moment, even if you were the one affected by them. While this verse is just a short sentence, there is so much to unpack. And I don't want you to miss these two words in this verse: kind and compassionate. Extending grace to your friends can only happen if you choose to show these things to them. Kindness isn't just this passive emotion that you feel on the inside for someone. No, attached to kindness is action. When you show someone kindness, you are actively giving them care. You are actively showing up for them with concern for how they're doing. Compassion is a deep desire to help someone in their suffering. But here's the kicker: there are no conditions. No matter the suffering, even if they brought it upon themselves, compassion pushes us to help them while they're in pain. Think about how powerful these two things are when they come together. If all of us started showing our friends kindness and compassion, our culture would literally flip upside down. We live in a world that screams, cancel them. If they hurt you, hurt them back. If they wronged you, get even. Revenge is best served hot. And it breaks my heart when I hear stories of you guys quitting on friendships because you simply didn't want to extend grace to them. That shows me that culture is winning in your friendships. Can I challenge you with something? Fight back. Disrupt culture. Stop letting the world decide how you should handle your friendships, and let Jesus decide how you should handle them. In Matthew 18:21-22, Jesus is having this conversation with one of his friends, Peter. Peter is asking him a very simple yet perplexing question. It says this: then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Here's what Jesus is getting at with Peter. Christ-centered people never stop forgiving. Christ-centered friends extend grace, always. Here's what's cool about Jesus. He didn't just preach these things because it sounded cool. He lived it out. At the end of Jesus' life, before he dies on the cross, Peter is confronted 3 times and asked if he knew Jesus. He was asked if he was a friend of Jesus. And instead of coming to Jesus' aid and stepping up for Jesus and coming alongside of him, Peter does the opposite. He denies knowing Jesus. After Jesus dies on the cross and comes back to life 3 days later, he eventually sees Peter. Now, if I'm Jesus in this moment, I am probably handling this situation a lot differently. If I'm Jesus, I'm probably like, yo, Peter, are you kidding me? My man, I was there for you always. I thought we were tight, but you played me. Like, for real? For real? Are you gonna do this to me? But that's why Jesus is Jesus, and well, I'm not. You know what Jesus does? He asks Peter to have breakfast with him. And during that meal that Peter has with Jesus, Jesus does the unthinkable. He extends grace. Understand this. I'm Peter. You're Peter. We all find ourselves at some point turning our back on Jesus. Yet Jesus extends grace, always. My hope for you is that at the center of every friendship you have grace for one another. I hope you have a deep desire to show forgiveness to your friends because Jesus does that for you. Don't let culture win. Don't let culture win. Allow Jesus to win in your friendships. Let's be people that extend grace, always.